we have to reduce federal spending. There's no way to make up for it other than reducing the federal spending. And as I mentioned earlier, like a very important point that I think is important for people to understand is that all federal spending is taxation. Because what they don't receive, what the federal government doesn't receive in direct revenue, they make up for in inflation. They just print money. So all federal spending is taxation. Very important principle. Almost nobody, very few people seem to, even like, you know, somebody's like spend their life in economics, I'll mention to them, hey, all federal spending is taxation. They're like, first they'll argue with me and they're like, then they will agree. It is. Because it is either direct tax revenue or it is inflation. All federal spending is taxation. So we must reduce federal spending or we will go bankrupt as a country.
In the next few minutes, we're going to look at Elon Musk's latest project. It's big, it's bold, and it's about cutting $2 trillion from government spending. We'll talk about why Musk thinks this is important and what it could mean for you. We'll also get into the problems he's facing. Some lawmakers aren't buying it, and federal budgets are really complicated. By the end of this, you'll have a good idea if Musk is onto something big or if he's bitten off more than he can chew. Okay, let's get into it. Elon Musk, the tech billionaire behind Tesla and SpaceX, has walked into Washington with a bold claim. He can cut $2 trillion from federal spending. You can imagine how this went over with career politicians and bureaucrats. It's like telling a chef you can make their signature dish better, faster, and cheaper. But here's the thing. Musk has shaken up industries before that most people thought were set in stone. Think about it. Electric cars used to be a joke. Now Tesla's on top. Space launches were government territory until SpaceX started landing rockets like it was no big deal. So when Musk talks about revolutionizing government spending, people might roll their eyes, but they're also paying attention. And Musk isn't just talking, he's taking action. He's created an unofficial advisory body called DOGE, operating outside normal government constraints. It's like a tech startup, but for trimming government fat. What's his approach? Musk is looking at government spending like a software problem. He's examining every department, program, and line item, asking, is this necessary? Can we do it better, cheaper, faster? It's the kind of thing that makes career bureaucrats nervous. But Musk's plan goes beyond just cutting. He wants to reimagine how government works. He's talking about using AI to streamline processes, blockchain for transparency, and even getting ideas from the public. It's like he's trying to give the government a major upgrade. If Musk is right, the payoff could be huge. We're talking about potentially saving America from financial trouble. The possibilities for what could be done with those savings are pretty exciting. But here's the big question. Can an outsider really change the system? Washington isn't Silicon Valley. It's a place where change happens slowly, and every decision has political consequences. Musk likes to move fast and break things. In D.C., that approach could make him enemies real quick. Musk's arrival in D.C. is creating waves in the centuries-old bureaucracy. You've got this Silicon Valley CEO, known for his fast-paced, disruptive approach, stepping into a world where progress is measured in election cycles. It's a clash of cultures that's causing quite a stir. Musk isn't playing by the traditional rule book. He's taking his message straight to the people through social media, bypassing the usual channels of press conferences and policy papers. He's calling out what he sees as wasteful spending in real time, using language that's far from the careful diplomacy we're used to in Washington. The reaction from lawmakers, it's all over the map. Some, like House Speaker Mike Johnson, are intrigued by Musk's fresh perspective. Johnson even said, "We're going to see a lot of change around here in Washington." That's pretty significant coming from a top lawmaker, but not everyone's on board. GOP Representative Don Bacon criticized Musk for being premature in opposing the spending bill, suggesting he should have gathered more facts first. It's a classic example of the tension between Musk's rapid-fire approach and the more deliberative style of traditional politics. Interestingly, Musk's influence is crossing party lines. Democrat Representative Ro Khanna suggested that Musk should testify before Congress about cuts to the defense budget. A Democrat inviting Elon Musk to talk about budget cuts? That's not something you see every day. The big question is whether Musk's approach will actually work in the long run. He's talking about cutting $2 trillion from the federal budget, a figure that would dramatically reshape the role of government in American life. But here's the thing. Every dollar cut represents a program, a person, or a community that could be affected. As Musk continues his crusade against government spending, we're left wondering, can Silicon Valley-style disruption work in the slow-moving world of politics? Or will the complexities of governance prove too much for even the most innovative tech entrepreneur? The outcome of this clash between old and new could have far-reaching consequences for how our government operates in the years to come. Now, Musk has proposed offering long severance packages, up to 2 years in some cases, to help employees transition to new jobs. But is that enough? I mean, we're looking at a federal workforce of about 2.1 million people. And it's not just about the employees. Think about the impact on government services. Programs like food assistance for low-income families or disaster relief efforts could be seriously affected. So here's where it gets complicated. How do you balance the need for efficiency with social responsibility? It's like trying to perform delicate surgery while blindfolded. You might fix one problem, but you risk causing a lot of unintended damage in the process. And you better believe there's going to be backlash. Remember when the Clinton administration tried something similar with the National Performance Review? They cut over 250,000 federal jobs and saved more than $1 billion. Sounds great, right? Well, not if you ask the public. There was huge pushback, and politicians felt the heat. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Musk is finding allies in some surprising places. Get this, some Democratic lawmakers, including Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna, are actually backing Musk's criticism of wasteful spending, especially in the defense budget. I know, I had to do a double take too. So what does this all mean? Well, it's clear that Musk's plan is forcing everyone in Washington to confront some uncomfortable truths. Yes, we need to be more efficient with our spending, but at what cost? And who gets to decide which programs are essential and which aren't? As this debate heats up, it's becoming clear that this isn't just about numbers. It's about the very role of government in our lives. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, a new player is about to enter the scene and shake things up even more. Doge is making waves in Washington, turning heads faster than a Tesla on ludicrous mode. This advisory body, set up by Elon Musk and his team, is aiming to slash government spending by a massive $2 trillion. They're not just writing reports, they're getting their hands dirty. As Musk and his partner Vivek Ramaswamy put it, we won't just write reports or cut ribbons, we'll cut costs. It's like they're treating the federal budget like a huge code cleanup, hunting down inefficiencies with the precision of a Silicon Valley debugging team. The recruitment for Doge is happening on X, formerly Twitter, with people sending resumes directly to a Doge account. And get this, the compensation? Zero. It's all about the mission. Doge is causing quite a stir in Congress. Some lawmakers are intrigued by this fresh approach, seeing it as a much-needed shakeup of the system. Democratic Representative Jared Moskowitz even became the first from his party to join the House Doge caucus, saying that cutting ineffective government spending shouldn't be a partisan issue. But not everyone's on board. Some are skeptical about the practicality of these proposed cuts. They're wondering if Musk and his team really understand the complexities of federal budgets. It's one thing to revolutionize electric cars and space travel, but government? That's a whole different ballgame. Doge represents a clash between Silicon Valley's fast-paced mentality and the slow, deliberate pace of government. It's forcing lawmakers to confront an uncomfortable question. Can an outsider's perspective really fix a system built by insiders? As Doge starts to make its mark, one thing's for sure. The battle for America's financial future is heating up. And the outcome? Well, that could shape the country for generations to come. So here we are, folks. Elon Musk's plan to save America is in motion, and it's pretty wild. By July 4th, 2026, Musk and his Doge team want to deliver a leaner, more efficient government. That's a big goal for America's 250th birthday, right? But you know what? This isn't just about watching from the sidelines. Musk and Ramaswamy want us to be part of this. They're encouraging people like you and me to reach out to our representatives, especially when it comes to government spending bills. They want us to speak up and have our say. So what's next? Well, that's kind of up to us. Are we going to sit back and watch, or are we going to get involved? This whole thing could really shake things up. It's a big deal, and we're all part of it, whether we like it or not. So what do you think? Are you ready to have your voice heard in shaping America's future?